Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Fertilizers/manures. These are substances which provide nutrients to plants and help to enhance proper growth and development. There are two types of fertilizers, namely organic fertilizers, inorganic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers. These are fertilizers produced by plants and animal remains after decomposing. Forms of organic fertilizers/manures: green manure, compost manure, farmyard manure, organic mulches. Green manure. This is obtained from crops grown in the garden and plowed into the soil when they have reached the flowering stage. Characteristic of crops suitable for green manure production: they should have a fast growth rate. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. They should be easy to plow into the soil, should be leafy or highly vegetative, should be able to grow on relatively poor soils. Advantages of green manure. Green manure crops cover the soil during erosion-prone seasons of the year. It speeds up biochemical activities in the soil. It increases the organic matter content of the soil. Disadvantages of green manure. If the material is fibrous, a lot of nitrogen is used by microorganisms to decompose it. This means that little nitrogen is left for crops. A lot of water is used in the process of decomposition, and this leaves little water in the soil for crops. Some crops used for making green manure like nuts, beans, or food crops it may be difficult for farmers to sacrifice them for green manure. It requires a lot of labor to make. It may delay the cropping programs. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Beddings can be cut and put in the houses where animals stay. Animals urinate and drop down on the beddings. Beddings are left in the houses until they are fully mixed up with urine and dung. Beddings are removed and put in the proper areas/under shed in order to reduce nutrients lost through leaching/evaporation/volatilization of nutrients. Cover the material to prevent loss of nutrients. Allow the material to decay for about 1.5 months. Factors affecting the quality of farmyard manure. The type of animal kept. Dung from non-ruminants like pigs, birds provides good quality manure than ruminants. Type of bedding used. Straw/plant bedding absorb more urine than wood shaving. Type of feeds given to animals, as concentrates provide excellent farmyard manure than starch feeds. Method of storage. Manure stored under shelter/shed has more plant nutrients than exposed to rain and sunshine. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. It supplies a high amount of organic matter to the soil. It improves on the soil physical properties such as structure. Disadvantages of farmyard manure. It is difficult to collect enough animal dropping if the animals are scattered. Urine can only be collected when the floor is cemented and only if animals are kept indoors. Requires a lot of labor to collect the dung. Farmyard manure has a bad smell. 3. Compost manure. The term compost means a collection of items from different sources. Compost manure is obtained from kitchen waste and rubbish, then can rot easily. Kitchen wastes include leftover food, peelings of banana, cassava, potatoes, rice husks, rotten foods, etc. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Plastic pieces of materials. This is because materials do not decompose and broken glasses are harmful to the farmer. Methods of preparing compost manure. There are methods used, namely the heat method, the pit method. 5 pits of about 150 x 150 cm x 60 cm are dug. The materials to make the manure are arranged in the first pit as follows, i.e. order from bottom to top. Dry hedge cuttings/may stalks to trap nutrients and allow aeration to take place. Fresh grass, leaves, kitchen refuse are added. Some farmyard manure is added to provide food for micro-living organisms that break down the fresh materials. Wood ash is added to improve on the nutrient content of manure. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. If the pit is not full, the order above is repeated up to when the pit fills. When the pit is full, it is covered with dry leaves. After 3-4 weeks, the materials in the first pit are transferred to the second pit and covered with leaves more. Fresh materials are put in pit 1. After 3-4 weeks, materials in pit 2 are transferred to pit 3 and covered material in pit 1 to pit 2. After 1 month, materials in pit 3 are transferred to pit 4 where it stays for another month. From pit 4, it is transferred to pit 5 where it stays for another month. By this the manure is ready for use in the garden. Diagram here. Advantages of using compost manure. It is easy for anyone to get materials to make compost. Manure. It has a long-lasting effect in the soil. It is cheap to prepare. It adds organic matter to teehee soil. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. The quantity of nutrients is always unknown. May be a source of pests and diseases. It takes a long time to prepare. It may pose a health rise to the farmer. It has a bad smell. Group assignment. Use the pit method to prepare compost manure in. Apply it in the school garden. Women 4 organic mulches. These are materials used to cover the soil surface in a garden. When plant materials are used for mulching, we refer to them as organic mulches, while materials such as polythene papers when used for mulching are referred to as inorganic mulches. Advantages of mulching/using organic mulches. They increase the organic matter content and population of living organisms in the soil. The organic matter obtained improves soil aeration, water infiltration, and water holding capacity of the soil. The mulches supply a variety of nutrients to plants. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Mulches prevent soil erosion by improving infiltration of rainwater into the soil. Mulches conserve moisture in the soil by preventing erosion. Mulches moderate soil temperatures by preventing the sun's heat from reaching the soil surface. Mulches suppress annual weeds/smoother weeds. Disadvantages of mulches. It encourages multiplication of pests since it offers hiding grounds for pests. During the rainy seasons, the mulch contributes to lowering of soil temperature. They are expensive to use, especially if inorganic mulches are used. Mulches can be a fire hazard which may burn crops. Some mulches, especially fresh grass, may be a source of weeds. B. Inorganic fertilizers. These are man-made chemical substances that are used to supply plants with nutrients. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. These supply more than one nutrient element to plants, e.g. C, A, N, NPK, and DAP. These supply both N and P. Roman 3 complete fertilizers. These fertilizers supply all the 3 primary nutrients, e.g. NPK. Advantages of inorganic fertilizers. The amounts of plant nutrients they contain can easily be estimated. When applied, they readily release nutrients. They are easy to handle and store because they come in convenient packages. They are specific and so allow application of only the required nutrients. They can easily be combined with irrigation water and applied at once. Disadvantages of inorganic fertilizers. Some are expensive to buy. The nutrients element contained in them can easily be leached. They do not improve the physical properties of the soil. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. They can pollute the environment, e.g. when eroded by rainwater to water bodies. Labeling fertilizers. Fertilizers may be labeled as NPK 5-10-20. The figure 5, 10, and 20 represent percentages of the available nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium respectively. These may be percentage or ratios. Example 1. An artificial fertilizer's NPK supplies nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in the ratios of 5-10-20. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Total ratio equals 5 plus 10 plus 20. Amount of potassium equals 35. 20/35 x 1000. Amount of nitrogen equals 571.4. 5/35 x 1000 equals 142.85. Exercise. QTN. Mr. Kato is a farmer in Mikono district. He is to apply NPK fertilizers on 3 of land in a ratio of NPK 25 divided by 15. 30. Calculate I. Amount of each nutrient 1 ton. Roman 2 amount of each nutrient in 4 tons. Roman 3 amount of each nutrient in 10 tons. QTN. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Methods of fertilizer application. 1. Top dressing. Here the fertilizer is applied on the surface of the soil. When crop has already established, e.g. NPK fertilizers, applied to make crop when it has reached knee height. 2. Band placement. Here the fertilizer is applied between rows of crops in strips/bands. However, fertilizers should not be put too near or too far away plants. 3. Spot application. Here particular spots/places are selected and fertilizers are applied in these places next to a seed/plant. 4. Ring placement. Here fertilizers are placed in a ring from around the crop. The advantage is that crops are able to absorb best the nutrients from all sides. 5. Side dressing. Here fertilizers are placed in a band. A few containers are The side of the crop also applied after crop has established. Agriculture fertilizers and manures. Here soluble fertilizers are dissolved in irrigation water and delivered to the soil with the irrigation water. 8. Broadcasting method. Here fertilizers are uniformly scattered over the soil surface and then plowing into the soil. 9. Foliar application. Here fertilizers to be applied are dissolved in water and sprayed onto the leaves of crops. Factors affecting crop response to fertilizers. Amount of fertilizers applied. Correct rate of fertilizers should be applied as too much / too little affects crop growth. Fertility level of the soil. If the soil is already fertile, then there is no need to add fertilizers because the crops will not utilize it. Moisture content of the soil. Soil moisture dissolves fertilizer elements which will be taken in by plants in solution form. Soil temperature. Some fertilizers, especially N fertilizers, are affected by agriculture fertilizers and manures. Type of crop. Crops like legumes do not require N fertilizers. Application because they are able to fix their own N. Method of application. Fertilizers should not be placed too close or too far as some may instead burn the crop when in direct contact. Stage of crop growth. Fertilizers should be applied at right stage of crop growth, e.g. N fertilizers should be top dressed at knee. High stage of crop. Nature / form of the fertilizers. Some fertilizers are less soluble, e.g. SSB, that should be applied early enough to allow it to dissolve and be taken up by plants easily, while others dissolve early, e.g. N. Urea. Plant population. Optimum plant population ensures that plants get adequate N, while too high population, there will be competition. Weed infestation.